Right, well, I've got some progress done ever since I posted the last video. We took the engine out. Yeah, so this is just a little update about how the build is going and what is going on. So let me show you around and show you what I've done and what I'm going to do. And yeah, this is more of an in-depth video for anyone who's interested. Starting off at the front of the car, as you can see, everything is taken apart here. Throttle cable, the clutch, even the brake servo's out. I managed to take that out. Basically, we're going to respray the engine bay. Paint is coming tomorrow, so probably it's already come by the time this video is up. But it's going to be white, so it's going to be very nice. Now I am thinking of leaving this bar here black, because if we do run an intercooler, once you put the turbo in the Micra, I'm thinking having it black, so just, you know, blends in with the shadows on the bumper. I'm also considering doing a power steering delete to make the engine bay a little cleaner and get more of a driving feel. That's going to get rid of the reservoir for the power steering fluid that's in here, so it's going to make the engine bay a little cleaner, and just the car is going to be a little more simple. I have taken the steering rack out, but I did just put it back in temporarily so I can take the power steering lines in and out because they're a bit tight. And now that I think of it, I could have done a lot of videos about all the work I've done here, like pulling the engine. That would have been a great video, or like the brake servo, that would have been interesting too, or even the window wiper motor. That was a bit hard to get off. But if you want to see any of the work I did here, you can go check out the TikTok. It's not very in-depth, but you know, you still get a bit of it. Literally the only thing I need to do to be able to paint the engine bay is of course sand it down, but first I'm going to just drop these lines there so they're not in the way, so we can sand down the firewall there, and then the fuse box and all the wiring harnesses we're just going to hang outside of the car. It'll be grand. Right, now before we move on to the other parts of the car, let me show you the engine, which is in my back garden. Here we have the engine, very professionally stored. The plan with this is of course take off the power steering pump, and we're going to get a new belt for this anyway, so that's not a problem. We're going to paint the block silver and the head silver after we clean it, and then the cam cover, that's going to be red, also high temperature paint, and then the oil pan also needs a new paint, and I also need to drill the hole for the oil return for the turbo. The gearbox, along with one of the axles, the oil, one of the door cards, the radiator, the transmission fluid, the power steering fluid, and some brake fluid are all in the shed. And a lot of other bits such as this coolant hose, and then we have all the brackets and all the bolts here, which I will definitely not know where to put back, are all in this box. And of course we also have the turbo here, that's just waiting patiently for things to go back into the car. But that's actually not all. In one of my alleyways I have the entire exhaust system, very nice. And here in this lean-to I have a shelf full of the manifolds, intake and exhaust, another one of the axles, power steering reservoir, what else? Yeah. And also like 3 wheels in this alleyway, and like a lot more interior bits in the attic. Let me show you the interior now. In the interior we can find many parts of the car that shouldn't be in the interior, such as the wipers, the windshield wiper fluid, some of the power steering lines, the horn, the brake servo, and well, I've dropped the steering rack, the steering shaft, just so I can like take the rack out. So yeah, it's going well. Now let's move on to the boot. In the boot we have some more things that should not be in the boot, such as the airbox, the alternator, the fuel rail. Yeah. Also, I think this is a problem. Yep, that's gonna rust. I've also done a rear wiper delete that used to be there, and now the hole is covered up by tape, but I do have filler, so I'm gonna do that in the upcoming days. And I'll probably be a TikTok video about it. I don't know if I'll do a YouTube one, but look, that's gonna be nice and flush, having a very nice clean rear. And the badges here, which just reminded me of something else. I've seen it done before where people take the grills on the second facelift Micra, and basically they put like mesh wire here where the actual intake is, and make it like somewhat more of an intake, because see, this is blocked up, that's blocked up. This could be somewhat more efficient, although of course you're not going to notice a power gain or anything, but you know, it's nice to know that there's more air flowing into the engine. And the way most people do it, they just take this chrome part and they just throw away this little plastic part. But what I want to do is cut all of this off and then like put filler where there's any holes, because as you can see there's going to need to be filler there and in another few places. But sand it all down, paint it, and then here on the back stick some of this mesh wire. I think it might look quite nice. If I find an example, I'll put up a picture right now. There you go. And the reason that the badge reminded me of this vent mod that I want to do is because I've seen somebody put the Micra badge here on the mesh and it looked quite nice, and my badge is like falling off, so like yeah. I'm still considering whether I paint the mesh black or if I leave it silver, or if I put some better silver paint. So it's either black or silver on this, which will be black, and I think I'm going to leave the chrome because it matches with the headlights, but the headlights are not there right now. And another idea I've had, although I know you probably shouldn't do this, It really annoys me the way this strip here is rusting. And basically I want to fill up this entire channel with filler, which I know is dumb because this is supposed to stop the water from flowing onto you when, or like falling onto you when you open the door. But look, I really just hate this, and you know, I like to have like a smooth roof. I don't know how that look. Maybe I'll change my mind eventually. But yeah, and the car will be getting resprayed eventually. But that's not a priority right now. As you can see, the bodywork is not great. We got a dent here and like a chip here, but I'll use the filler on that. You know, just try learn how to use the filler and fill in some dents and chips. And if you haven't seen it yet, we've also done like a little bumper cut on the TikTok, so you can go check that out. I think it looks quite nice. We're gonna have like an exhaust there one day, I don't know when, and that little metal part there will probably be black. Depends. I'm thinking whether the car will be red or blue. If it's blue, it'll be white. If it's red, it'll be black. Because I think it's a nice color combo. So yeah. So yeah, there you go. That's the update. I'm gonna get back to work on the car. So check out the TikTok and subscribe here if you want. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing some more work on this car, and it's gonna look very minty. Because you know we gotta stick to the name. It's not very minty right now, but hopefully it'll be minty in the future. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, see you.